Hi everybody, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Leanne, and in this video I'm going to share with you what I have growing on my seed starting shelf. Now this is inside. Usually you wouldn't want to have this in an area where you are going to be doing your living. If it was convenient for me to have this upstairs in a room, I would. But when hardening off season comes in, when you start getting your plants used to the sunshine and the wind, it's really annoying to take a bunch of trays of plants up and down the stairs. So I tolerate having the seed starting shelf inside for the summertime. Now I've got a greenhouse that I can do this in the winter, and I've been working really hard to get that greenhouse ready for this coming winter seed starting season, but it's still too hot to use in the summer. I would need some serious infrastructure to keep that thing cooled down enough to start seeds for the fall garden. But to list it off to you, I've got 2 types of cabbage. I think I've got 2 types or 3 types of broccoli, 2 types of kale, and Brussels sprouts. One variety of Brussels sprouts. Let me go ahead and show you. Now I will warn you, these are a little punier than I would like them to be. But I'm going to tend to them and I'm gonna see what happens, because you know what? Every time I start my seeds, there is some unforeseen thing that happens that makes them a little less than I would like them to be. Every season I have learned a new way to take care, a new step to either not skip or just to make sure that I know what to do next time. Because there's some things that I know that I've skipped just to see if it's really necessary, and then I learn, yes, it's necessary. There's other things that I didn't know at all. So it's a constant learning over and over and over. So let me go ahead and show you these baby plants. Brussels sprouts galore. This tray right here is lacinato kale, which is also called dino kale. I remember being super confused the first year that I grew lacinato kale. It's not wanting to focus. The first year that I grew lacinato kale, I knew it as lacinato kale, not dinosaur kale. And then I saw it at the store. It's either I saw it at the store or I heard it from another YouTuber call it dinosaur kale. And it's like, oh yeah, I wonder if that's the same thing that looks the same. It didn't even occur to me that a variety could have more than one name. But if you didn't know, lacinato kale and dinosaur kale are the same. Tray is called Golden Acres Cabbage. I started this the week of July 10th. And the method that I used to start these seeds was that cinnamon roll looking thing. And I don't think I did it quite right, because I ended up with a lot of plants that are really leggy. And I tried to save the ones that weren't as leggy. I think some of my lights got turned off by my boys. Some of them aren't as leggy. I ended up re-sowing the seeds, so some of these might not be as old as from the 10th of July, but there might be a few that are. This is broccoli. This one's another tray of Brussels sprouts. And I did not end up having enough containers and trays, so I doubled it up. It looks like I need to water already. This row down here, let's take a look. Arugula. Okay, arugula. Spicy salad. I probably will only keep like 3 plants of that for myself. 1 second. Here you go out, baby. You whining? It's not terribly hot out today, which is nice. I would spend some time outside. Alas, I only have a few minutes before I need to go pick up the kids from school. So I'm gonna shoot this video and then edit it in the car line. This is another this is another tray of Golden Acres cabbage. Some of the seedlings most of them look really, really sad. But again, I'm gonna hold out hope. Like I said, something always goes wrong but it never completely foils my plans. I always have some that survive. It's all a learning experience. You learn what varieties are hardier, and I have a lot of the golden acre cabbage. So this is another golden acre. Those two back there are both golden acre cabbage, and this one is the blue Scotch curled kale. This one's doing good. You can actually tell that it's kale, at least this one. You can tell this one's kale. It's got the little curly leaves. This one doesn't look the same. I don't know, maybe that got planted in the wrong spot. It's totally possible. All right, well, this is my seed starting shelf. I do have a timer on here, but, oh, sorry, I just unplugged it. So I've got that timer, and I do like to use that. I just unplugged it a little bit, there we go. And I water it every couple of days. So you see these, how this looks so much more damp than this. I stick my finger in there and it still feels damp under the surface. So it might look like it needs to be watered, but just stick your finger in, and if it's wet in there, you don't want to water too much because that's also not good for the plants. The shelves are not level, so the ones down here are lower, making the ones in the back dry out a little bit faster. But I'm watering them about every other day, maybe less than that. I have not fertilized these other than putting them in fresh soil when I got them out of the cinnamon rolls. I really like this cinematic setting on my phone. It's fun. I feel like a legitimate photographer. Videographer, rather. Except for my wobbly holding of the tripod. And he's back. I will be getting these babies out into the garden middle to the end of September. So they've got quite a while to get a little bit bigger, and I am hopeful. Here in North Carolina, growing brassicas, which all of these are in the brassica family, is almost impossible to grow these in the springtime unless you are going to baby them like crazy. I have tried it and I had flea beetles so badly. They were like gone a week after I planted them. All of the plants were eaten by the bugs. It's very frustrating. So I have taken to my brassicas in the fall. You plant them in September and then you harvest them in like March or April, depending on how well they do for you, I guess, and your soil and all those different factors that could affect it, like the weather and whatnot. This is not all I'm going to be planting for the fall, however. I will be direct sowing a ton. I've already got a round of beans in the ground. My pumpkins are going to stay in the ground all fall, and I'll clean those up after the frost. I'm going to plant a round of cucamelon seeds. Plant a round of cucamelon seeds. I'm going to sow snap peas, sugar snap peas, and also flowers, root vegetables as well. So this is not all that's going to be in there, though these plants are probably going to take up the most space. The root vegetables don't take up as much space. But this is the fall garden. I wanted to share this with you guys. I will also be sharing my game plan for the fall garden, how I'm going to be spacing things out. I'll post that one next week. Since fall gardening is coming up, I want to share this ahead of time so that you guys have a chance to get your game plan together if you want to put in a fall garden. I started mine from seed, and it's a little too late to get yours started from seed if you live in my area. Further north, it's definitely way too late for you to do this from seed, unless you're working with some sort of greenhouse situation, high tunnel or what have you. But fall gardening is upon us, so if you wanted to have a fall garden, you could still get some plants. The places that I found the best deals for fall garden plants are your feed stores. Those random little local grocery stores or feed stores, they will often have just random plants in there grown by somebody local, and they're often really inexpensive. Also, Facebook Marketplace. Ask a lot of questions though before you get plants from people on Facebook Marketplace, just to be safe. So I hope you guys love this video. If you would be so kind to like, share, and subscribe, I would appreciate it so much. And that is a wrap. Happy gardening, everybody. Thanks again. Bye.